Добър ден, господин Добрев, приятел Васил. Радвам се, че съм тук по покана на моя приятел Васил. Хубаво е да съм тук в красива София. Благодаря ти, Васил, за поканата. Thank you very much. Now I will switch to English because it's not my primary language, but as you can see, I'm coming also from the Slavic nation, so I can also speak a little bit of your language, and also I know Cyrillic, which is not common from the people who are coming from the West, so we learned that in the primary school, and that's my big advantage. When I come here, I can read the science, I can read everything, and mostly all of things I can understand. I would like now in English to thank you for the invitation. It's really my pleasure to be here. It was really inspiring to listen the introductory speaks from Mr. Dobrev and Vasil, especially the part related to the government bonds, retail government bonds, which were very successful in Croatia, especially because they start after we introduced the euro. So this is the very good time actually to speak about that. And that was very good for the stock market and for the capital market, for financial literacy. Actually, you can see a lot of the good things actually which are coming from that. But before we start, I will just put the slide of the benefits and costs of the euro adoption. Probably you saw the most of those things and the parts before the introduction of the euro. Of course, there are more benefits than the costs which are there. But after the 3 years we have the euro, I can tell you that this is really the truth. It's not just a theoretical thing. It is something what you can see as in the practice. The part which was related to the credit risk, currency risk, actually completely was erased after we introduced the euro. There are some, after 2 years of the introduction, there are some, let's say, the positive things. Of course, the most important is related to the yields, which are going down even more. Probably you saw that before the introduction of the euro, that yields and the interest rates went down. Something what we were dreaming about that 30 years ago. Now it's a reality, for example, in Croatia, that the interest rates on the loans are lower than Italy or France. Actually, it was unimaginable. Yeah? That is something what you can see, especially after the reserve requirement goes down, banks are overflowed with the cash, so that is something, and with the liquidity, that is something what will really help to the interest rates to the decrease. Yeah? Valuations, there was no significant impact, but depends on how the companies are working. In your case, I believe that as in Croatian case, actually the companies were working a lot after the EMU accession. This is important for the stock market, the depth, efficiency, resilience, breadth, and liquidity of the stock market. Actually, you see it immediately after the euro introduction, because all the stocks which are on the stock market are really easy to see the values. There are no need for the conversion. There is no currency risk. There is no other problems for the investors. So investors, especially the foreign one, will put more attention on your stock market. That's good for your director of the stock market, who is here with us. This is interesting slide. Here we made a survey in Croatia before the introduction of the euro, actually asking the companies. You can see here insurance, leasing, investment, infrastructure, factoring, management funds, investment funds, I mean pension funds, investment funds, actually what are the costs actually of the introduction and the benefits. Yeah? And of course the most, you can see the blue bar, it is reduction of the currency risk exposure. Actually, when we are in our supervision supervision institution doing the risk assessment. The risk assessment from the January 1st, 23 actually became almost to zero, and it was always currency risk higher. Okay, we had a very stable exchange rate, but anyway, you always have that currency risk convergence, which actually completely disappeared for financial services sector and for the insurance. When we are talking about the costs, that is of course the biggest one is the conversion process, client notification, that we insisted that all clients received all notification, the value of their shares, the value of their investment fund portfolio, that they received that in euro. That was for us very important because the euro, changeover can create some kind of the people who would like to take advantage of that. So we said no advantage, it must be done on the very transparent way, so everyone need to have the information what is going to be the value of its portfolio after the euro is introduced. Yeah. What happened with us? The green line is Croatia. You can see here after the euro introduction that we have the corporate bond spreads actually, and the yields are on the level of the all euro countries. We actually have the lower yields than in Italy now, than in France, than in many other very advanced EMU economies, actually thanks to the stability which we got after we introduced the euro. And that is something which is really you can feel that on the financial market almost every day. Also, the credit rating, if goes down, means that credit rating goes up, actually reducing the risk. After the euro introduction, we got for the first time in A rating. So Croatia has A rating now, which is for us a really historical achievement. Actually, the first time in our independent country, 35 years, actually we have the A rating. Also thanks to euro, that is actually happened through that process. Of course, before the introduction of the euro was also improvement in the rating. This is the non-investment grade, this red line, which shows you that Croatia, before we started the euro introduction, we were a long time in the non-investment grade, which means BBB minus, which was really a problem in many discussion with the investors, for the government, for the companies, because no company can have the higher grade than the government. Yeah? So actually, after we start the process, the S&P and the Fitch actually put us in the positive territory, and also before the euro introduction, the Moody's, which is the third agency, decide to upgrade us before that. So this is the very important part for the industry, for the financial market, and it really helps in the actually when you need to show yourself in front of the investors in the world. Currency risk actually disappeared. You see that the average currency VAR of the portfolio actually was disappeared in Croatia. We have small amount of US dollars in our currency system. The euro was dominant. We were Euroized country very much. So actually that was something what really create a very stable environment and reduce the risk, which is, as you know, very important when they calculate all other ratios inside the financial institutions. Yeah? This chart shows the portfolio diversification. You can see here there is after the euro introduction, there was two different, let's say, important change. One is that there was less government bonds in the portfolio. You see here, especially around Corona, it was almost 70%, very high. and now it goes to the 50 and it is below the 50, the general. That includes not only the domestic bonds, also the, let's call it foreign bonds. I mean the bonds from the European Union countries. And also what happened significantly after was the geographical diversification, which is very important for the, especially the pension funds, when they need to cash out the money. If the all money is within the national territory, it's not liquid. Yeah? If you go outside all around the world, then the liquidity increase, and you see here EU countries and also USA was expanding more after we introduced the euro. So the foreign currency became only the US dollar or in Croatia. Before that was the euro, foreign currency, dollar and others. Now it's only the dollar, so it's easy to calculate the war. But you see here significant change in 2.5 years. It was not, you don't need to wait too long. And that also, it's important for you as for the supervisor, the part of you who are working in KFN, actually that you need to take a more approach and look on the prospectus, what they are doing with that. But at the end of the day, it's also good for the for the holders in the shares in investment funds and the pension funds and others, because they are safe, because their portfolio is diversified. This is the stock exchange, and this is the part which is for us really important, especially this year. Was important, and for you who are on the capital market, it's really visible how the capital market expanded after we introduced the euro. So our year was 2023. So till now, actually, our Crobex is the name of our Croatian stock market index. Actually, is growing without. There was some here a small crisis. It was all around the world, but anyway, you can see it doubled since then. So the stock market actually expanded. I can tell you what is very important also for us, that this year we are going to reach the turnover of 1 billion euro. Actually, for the first time in last, I don't know, 30 years. Actually, historical high turnover on the stock market. I think the director would like to have 1 billion euro in 1 year. Actually, that is something what really it's important, and gives the next one are the IPO. We had this year 3 IPOs, and which were very successful, with a huge base of investors. That's also something what stock exchange needs. It's a lot of people who are buying. So I'm talking about, for example, the last, which was finished last week. Actually, there was in Croatian terms a lot, 50,000 retail investors in IPO only. There is pension funds, banks, and others, but retail investors base is very important if you would like to have the stock exchange to lead. We had some IPOs before which were not successful, only the institutional investors, and then the stock is without any trading, no turnover. What creates turnover is this. So that is the and you see here how the turnover. This is the blue line which goes up and down. Actually, trend is positive in the last 2 years. Very positive, especially because we have these 3 green lines, 3 IPOs this year, very successful with a lot of success. But before, I will come back to those slides. But what was before those success on the capital market? Mr. Dobrev said that at the beginning in his introductory speech. The Ministry of Finance start to issue retail bonds and the retail treasury bills, which means that on the primary market, people can freely apply for to buy treasury bill or the bond. And that was something what started after we introduced the euro. Here you can see the number of investors, you see, on every occasion. So altogether 300, okay, they're double counting, but 341,000 people in 2.5 years were participating on the primary market. Today is the last day for the last tranche of the treasury bills, which is actually going on right now. The closing is in few hours. Actually, it's going until the Wednesday. I think the Prime Minister said that was 20,000 people. So on every occasion, there was some there was too much maybe, but you see a huge, especially when there is a government bond, which brings the higher yields. The yields are now for treasury bills 2.6, for the bonds over 3%, which is much higher than in banks, which offers you something for the retail near zero, or something which is lower than that. Yeah? So that really attracts a lot attention to the capital market. That also helped in the education of the people, because people start to take attention of the stock exchange. And they are all listed on the stock exchange. Yeah? They are all listed. And what Mr. Dobrev said, you can sell it anytime you want. I tried, and it works. So actually, you can sell anytime. And also, as in your case, there is no tax on the government bond yields. And in that case, that became a very famous paper in our capital market. And also, that creates a huge attention for the IPO, for the more turnover and the trade on the stock exchange. That was a really successful story in our case. Now I can say that retail, I mean the people in Croatia, they own around 8% of the public debt. Our public debt is 57%, so 8% of that is owned by the retail. And I can tell you that people are very happy. Yeah? So, but there are some technical important part, which means we create some fintech in Croatia by the government, which really can. It's easy to buy. Yeah? You can have an application on your mobile from the chair in watching TV, and you can buy the treasury bills. Very easy system, but it required a lot of work before that. But that was something what was really helpful, and as I said, start after few months after we introduced the euro. In the March of 23, we introduced euro in the January 23. What also was very important for our capital market was capital market strategy. My friend Vasil said at the beginning that it's important that the government is in that. What is true in our case, the capital market strategy was done by the Ministry of Finance, our HANFA, my institution, the supervisory agency, and actually was adopted by the government. Okay, action plans, everything else it's going to be done by us. We are going to be those who will implement, like yourself. I mean, technically work, but it is important that you have support from the government, and that is the part of the government politics. Yeah? And then those things are going well. So what are the important parts of that? Regional integration, digitalization, corporate governance, increasing liquidity participation of small investors. That was what we did, what I showed you here. Actually, that we increase the participation of the retail, because of that you cannot. Actually, the lot of these things actually we did already. Yeah? And all of that is actually on the capital market union and saving and investment union. The decisions done by the European Union. So we are part of EU, all of us now, and we are actually capital market union together with the banking union need to somehow integrate and give the more liquidity to the capital market. But what we are doing now it's here. Russell know that very well. Actually, we are trying to create some kind of the regional integration and boost competitiveness. So actually, some kind of the regional integration is also here. We are trying actually to because of the size to bring all together on the level that it is higher than our small markets for the liquidity, to increase the liquidity, to increase the attractiveness and so on. And before the end, I would like also to say something about the crypto. Actually, the Russell was say that's a new wave and the new Armageddon and something what will be on our market. It is true. Actually, we need to, MiCA is in place, we need to implement that. At one moment, you see that crypto was much higher than shares. I mean, the turnover of the shares on the capital market. This year that was changed, as you can see, thanks to the IPOs and government bonds. But at some moment, the crypto assets before the new regulation came was very high, and the people were putting the money to the crypto. We all know here in the room that it's very risky, it's very volatile. You can earn, but you can also lose. The value of that, what is behind, we still, it's some kind of the black box. But anyway, that is something what is the overtaking our markets. That's something what is here, what we lost, and we need to cope with that and find a way actually to regulate that and put that into the right order. As you can see, what we are trying to do here is something what is going to be done about the regulatory scope in the MiCA. Ante-relating tokens, EMTs, that is in the central bank. All other are actually with the HANFA, with us. I don't know how it's in your case, but we are splitting part was in central bank, art-related tokens, and those related with other currencies, EMTs and others, and CASP actually are with us. We need to, of course, regulate and take care about the legal licensing, white book, consumer protection, responsible management, and financial stability, which is, as we know, something what is very, very demanding. So I will finish here. Thank you very much for the attention. Once again, I hope that I really try to do that as short as possible, that I was not too long, and that you received some good info. I wish you a very successful conference, and it was really a pleasure to be here. Hvala vam.